You guys do not see anything that I edit out of this stuff, and I'm glad. Okay, so anyway, starting over again, I have a bass. I'm going to just go over how like modes and keys and all that stuff like comes together because otherwise nothing makes sense. But once you have the bigger picture, like it makes everything snap together in a much better way. Good way, very good way. Okay, so uh basically the best way to show all of it is from the wider image and then in. So I left my tuner there so you can see a little bit what's going on. Bass sounds coming in. Okay, good. The main function of the key is just to define what notes are sort of fair game and what notes are not incorrect but out of key. So they'll sound out of place unless you use them in a particular way most of the time. So for this example, we're going to be in A major. So when you're in A major, you don't just play A. You play multiple notes at the same time, usually being a chord. So you'll have the A chord. In this case, it's just a 1 and a 3. You can play any of the notes in the A major scale if you are in A major. And you can stack multiple notes together to build chords. Not only that, but you'll move through the key by playing different chords to add just sort of motion, basically. So there's actual stuff going on, so people listen to your music and enjoy themselves or whatever. Uh, so basically, most of the time you have a repeating chord progression. And this is probably stuff that you're already doing, but basically, let's do. And these are all notes from that A major scale. And you can play it any number of different places, but it's all the same notes repeating up and down the fretboard. So as you put together these chords that go around the A major scale stacked, basically don't worry about what the chords actually are. Just know that it's a stack of notes based on the root note moving around that A major scale. So and then with the notes on top. So likewise, when you are going through and playing through a chord progression, if you want to put, say, a bass line underneath, you don't have to just use just the root notes. Or I guess. But you know how to use the notes surrounding the root notes based on what mode you're left in around the A major scale. So that's the first mode, but if you are on that B minor, you'd start in a different place and get a whole different flavor than if you played it from the A position, which has different, notes in a different place, basically. So you're using the same notes, you're starting in a different place, and it just you can hear just the different, I don't know, where the notes line up compared to each other just creates a different feel based on where you are around that scale. So again, if you're in this chord progression, you would rotate through the different modes that you're playing, but using, instead of sticking to the root notes, playing just notes through those modes. And it just adds more and more musical detail to what you're trying to do. So basically, within a single key, which defines the notes that you can use, you have chords, which are just sort of stacks of notes, sticking to those established notes that are in and out of key. So you'll pick notes that are in key, stack them up to make chords, and this is where you can get really, really creative with how you want to do it. And then based on what chord you're using at any particular point in time, you can use different modes underneath those chords or over top of those chords. I guess if it's a lead part, to create just more stuff going on to fill out the music that you're doing. I think that's basically it. I think so. So if there's anything else you can think of, definitely throw it in the comments. Like and subscribe. It helps a lot. And yeah, let me know the next thing you want me to talk about.